Welcome to February's quick album review. So before I get into this, I do want to say that I feel like I lagged somewhat this month, even though I listened to the same amount of albums that I did in the previous one. Six again. Just I feel like I could have done more, but well, anyways, let's get on with the video. Starting off with Squid, Cowards. Now, I'll start off immediately by saying that this album, whilst I thought it would captivate me in different ways, especially because Squid has, I guess, is in that one cartridge of mine where it could have been, or it could be a band that I could like because I love Black Country New Road, I love Black Midi, and a lot of people say if you like these two, you'll like Squid, or you like this band, you like this band. Squid, like I mentioned, is one of the bands that a lot of times gets put into that category, but so far I've never really been captivated nor really been intrigued by any of the things they really produced, and this sort of continues that line. Whilst there is some quality to this, I cannot deny that, it really doesn't feel like sticking to me. It doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot to me, and that could change with more listens, with a better attitude, I guess. But at this point, at this moment, I do not see it coming just like that, and that's why I decided to give it a 6.5 for the time being. The next one is Venturing by Ghostholding. Now again, second album in the second month, that is a shoegaze album, and I thought that this one might be more intelligible to me since it's also in English, so I would, I guess, be more understanding of the lyrics in general, so of the message being sent, when compared to, for example, Asian Glow that I reviewed back in January. It's not really been the case. It's been more the case of me being further away from enjoying this and really giving it a second, a third, a fourth try, or fourth, or like a new opportunity, a new light, a new perspective. Because when I listened to this, it just felt odd to me, or just off. It just didn't feel like something I really long for, or I really am looking forward to when I'm listening to something. I remember listening to it, and the second song immediately sounded totally different from the first one, and I was like, oh, did I listen to the whole album without noticing? And now it's just like some new music, or some different music started playing with a different band. No, it was still the same album, it was still the same band, or artist, but it's just a different song, a different type of genre, or a different, not type of genre, but it was just a different feeling, different mood. And whilst on the surface level that should be something nice, that should be something fine, that's diversity, that's variety, it just didn't feel like it. It just didn't feel like, oh, something nice. It just felt something odd, something not fitting at the point. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt, and this 5.5 from me, again, with a huge pinch of salt, because shoegaze and these genres around it just aren't something I have ever really put myself into and enjoyed. If you are a fan of it, this might be actually good. The next album on the list is Maruja Stirna Noch. I think I mispronounced, butchered the name, but sorry. Maruja, I keep forgetting how to say it, is a band that since the late 2023, or since late 2023, when I found them on my Discover Weekly, I've been repping and like just blasting every single opportunity that I can. This improvisational EP just really sets the tone for hopefully what's more to come, because as an improvisational piece, it really just is so vibrant, so loud, so majestic, I guess, that it really just empowers what I love about this band and what I've longed for its future. And I hope that the up and coming album someday will actually be as grandiose and as gigantic, and as I hope. I really hope the very fucking best for this band. Because I love it to death. I went to watch them in Rotterdam back in 2024, last year basically, and I loved it. I was almost like basically front row in the mosh pit the whole time. I saw the members afterwards, and I was such a big fanboy. Like, trying to like to ask them anything and not stutter every single second that I was looking at them, because I just love the music, the sound, the lyrics, everything about it just really made me be a fan from the first song onwards. Giving this an 8.5 right now doesn't really justify how much I really empathize how this band can become one of my like the pillars of like the future music taste in me. Really just something I'm looking forward to in the future. The next album on the list is by Sam Fender. It's People Watching. Whilst right now I'll immediately say the rating is at an 8.5, this can just change. And whilst, for example, for the first two albums I didn't have much to say, in a way it feels the same for this, because I don't know what to say, because every single new listen that I give it, it just gets better and better and better. The first listen I really loved, like having this thought and imagery of a singer-songwriter Sam Fender type genre, mostly because to me in my head it never seemed like he was that. He always seemed like he was sort of the indie alternative artist, with like my favorite songs of his being, for example, the Dead Boys. It just doesn't sound like at all like that. But this like perfectly encapsulated his majestic, strong, deep voice into the album, having these instrumentals. Whilst you might think they sound easy and bland at first, really just create a grandiose like aesthetic to it. And I don't know why, but I just, when I heard violins at one point, I was just like, yes. I didn't know that it needed that, but it just like was a chef's kiss at that point. I'm at a certain point where the album is taking a shape that, if it continues like this, growing on me, this could be like an album of the year contender in my eyes. It could be really something that I just was longing for a long time. And that's why I said at an 8.5 at 8.5 at the moment can change very quickly, because every single listen that I'm giving it, I'm enjoying it even more. Next up, we got Joost Klein's Unity. Now I been loving Joost also since late 2023, mostly because that was the time where I moved to the Netherlands and then started really being integrated into the music genre, or integrated into the music genre. I listened to Joost Klein's and Ski Agus Friesenjung when it came out, or shortly after it came out. Really loved it. I don't know why. It's like those silly songs that just stick to you and you end up loving. It feels like a guilty pleasure at first, but it just turns into something really amazing later on. This album right here, whilst I wished in a way it could have been more like Friesland, does still stick out as a nice addition to his collection. You have the singles, the songs that you already know on here. You got Luftballon, you got Filthy Dog and Europapa, that add that sense of already knowledge and familiarity to it. But then you got the new songs, and some of them are highs, some of them are very lows. I think it's called United by Music, the one song that I'm just really not into it. Just really doesn't stick in any sort of good way. But in general, it still like leads me to enjoy the album. But with Friesland, it took a couple listens to love it. Antwoord, Papa and Mama, 2002, 2008 were songs that somewhat took the second, third listen to really just grab onto me, but now are in a heavy rotation. Or not a really heavy rotation, because I don't listen to every single song that I say daily, but you get the gist. It's the songs that you will come back to and love, and still love them as if it was a first listen. Still love them as if it was the first time it clicked. That's what I'm hoping for, maybe with some of the songs on here. The rest, it's already familiar. Filthy Dog's really good. Why Not is still somewhat iffy. I get it aesthetically for him, just not something I really enjoy to the fullest extent. But for example, Europapa, the outro, it's just so beautiful and angelic that I really feel like if that was the ending, I would not have minded. And the last album on the list is Ichiko Aoba with Luminescent Creatures. Now, the album came out yesterday, and whilst I cannot say everything that I wish for it, I can say two faces of this album. The one where I'm listening to it by myself here on the PC, and the other one and a like late night drive going back home. First and foremost, the first one, it during the first listen just on the PC, it really is nice. It feels very aesthetically beautiful even when you don't understand the lyric, but it's the second one that really grabs your attention. I was just driving home after visiting a friend of mine, and there was no sound but the music, and that was everything that needed. That album playing, the singer's calming, soothing voice trying to like be at a certain like wavelength of your emotions, just really connotated with how beautiful stuff can be even when you don't understand it. I don't speak Japanese. I don't have the lyrics translated in front of me to be able to understand what she is saying. That doesn't stop me from being able to listen to this and enjoy the beauties of it. Enjoy the cheerful, careful, and quiet hums and sounds coming out of the artist's expressions that just really purifies the listening experience. This is an album that, with those moments especially, are able to grow majestically on a person, and it's those moments that I will be loving to love to listen to this. Therefore, whilst right now it would be on a rating scale somewhere between 8.5 and 9, I don't know where this could take it up to, because that aesthetic mindset really gives it such a glorious tone. And that's where I'll leave it at the moment. Now, quickly moving on to the song of the month that I've chose. I didn't have many options for a hero because I didn't really go to many singles this month. And when I was listening back to a couple of them, Flood by Lil Sims, you got the Daniel Caesar and Rex Orange County collaborations, you got Clouds by J. Cole, Abacadabra by Lady Gaga. All those, while seeming nice and good, never really captivated me. Flood by Lil Sims is something that I feel somewhat odd about because it just turned like the voice louder, the singing louder, because it feels like it's hidden behind the mixing. That somewhat threw it off because that could have been just so much better. I love Lil Sims, so that's I guess something where I was like put off. But when I look back, I really just look at people watching the entire album, and I do feel captivated by a lot of the songs, and I guess I'll just really pick the title track, not only because it's the most famous one, the most I guess approachable one from anyone's perspective, but it's really the one that triumphs at being an amazing star to the album and an amazing way to get into the experience itself, that connects the whole, I guess, album culture within it, and really just bangs from the get-go. Whilst that is my pick, any other day could have been a different song from that album. I could have been cheap and said something from like Filthy Dog or Oro Papa, but honestly I don't feel like it, mostly because those are songs coming out from last year especially, so I'm trying not to cheat, not that much. And that is it. That is it for February. March has begun today. I hopefully be able to record or edit everything in time. In 2 weeks' time, a new Lucin will come out, so everyone that speaks Luxembourgish will be able to view that. The others, sorry. But again, 2 months in a row where I've been able to do this, and it feels weird to be doing it. I don't know. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you didn't, let me know. If you did, nice, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you either in 2 weeks or in a month again. And if it's in a month, then I'll be for the March quick album review. Till then, take care. Bye bye.